Hello and welcome to the Really Helpful Club. Thank you for joining us. This is our In Conversation series where we shine the spotlight on leading entrepreneurs and businessmen and businesswomen. We've moved our lunchtime chats to earlier in the morning because we know everyone is incredibly busy right now with their families at home, and lunchtime can be pretty manic. So let us know what you think of the new time, grab a cup of coffee and join in the conversation. So far, we've spoken to 4 amazing, inspirational business owners, and they've each shared their journey with us. And we're looking forward to meeting many more in 2021. Today, I'm going to be joined by Niki Perry, and Niki's going to be talking to us about Blessed Yoga. And she's going to share with us what inspired her to start her business. She's going to talk about how she's adapted during COVID. And she's also, I think, very importantly, going to share some advice for all of us who are having to cope with so much stress and so much uncertainty right now. And great news, because I can see that Niki has joined. And so, Niki, you need to come onto the screen if you can. And great to have you on board. Niki, I've been telling everyone that we're going to be joined by you to hear all about how you started Blessed Yoga, how you've adapted during COVID, and also very importantly, to share some advice for everyone about how to deal with the stress and uncertainty of everything that's going on right now. Lovely to have so many of you on board. I know that many of you are big fans of Niki and her classes and what she does. So please stay on board, bear with us. Here she is, fantastic. I warned Niki, this is like being a warm-up to a sort of game show or comedian where you've just got everything crossed that the person is there and they're going to show up. So hallelujah. And Stephanie, thank you very much for the thumbs up and the hearts from everyone. Don't you just love technology? So Niki, give a big wave, say hello and welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much. This is great. I'm always amazed that technology works the way it does. And thank you very much for this opportunity, Sarah, and the Really Helpful Club. That's great to see you.
Brilliant. Well, we've already got a big fan club on board. Everyone's waving, sending emojis, sending hearts, and which is lovely because we all know dealing with technology, doing these Instagram lives is definitely a step out of the comfort zone. But it is lovely to have everyone on board. Please, if you can't hear us or something's going wrong, for goodness sake, put it into the chat box and we'll see if we can work out how to deal with it. And so as I said, we've got Niki Perry who's joined us this morning. Niki is the founder of Blessed Yoga, and it is, excuse the pun, a real blessing to have you with us, Niki. So I'm just going to kick off with a few questions. If anyone has anything they want to ask Niki, then please put it into the comments box. I'll try and pick up on it and we can ask Niki as we go along. So Niki, let's begin with, tell us more about Blessed Yoga and what makes it so special.
Well, I think the real crux of our business comes from our community, and obviously pre-COVID that was easier because we were seeing everyone in the flesh, and that just built from a grassroots level when I started my own practice and my own business down in Chichester 14 years ago. It was just Niki Perry Yoga, and then 18 months ago we switched to Blessed, and all the people that came to the studio are again originally from Niki Perry Yoga, so they all knew each other. And then when more teachers came on board, that grew the community. And I think that is the very central point of our business, is that we have this amazing chemistry and connection with everybody, and it all comes from that lovely place of love. Actually, we all live locally, support one another, and that is how it began. So it is very much a big hug from the centre.
Isn't that lovely? And don't we all need a virtual hug right now? And I think your sense of community is so interesting. And so when did you start Blessed, and what was the inspiration for it?
It came about because I didn't want to do it all by myself, basically. I was just, I love teaching yoga. I've taught it for over 20 years. It's a huge passion of mine. But actually what I realized, and the more I taught, is that the true benefit of yoga comes from a regular daily practice. And that's just impossible for me as a teacher to be able to give that amount of energy, and it would be hypocritical of me to try and do that, because I wouldn't then be practicing what I preach, if you see what I mean. So I therefore thought, what am I going to do to create what I really wish for everyone to be able to experience? So that's when I set up a teacher training school, and a lot of my students that I've been teaching for over 14 years decided actually they were ready. They were asking loads of questions like, why, when I do this practice, why do I feel so incredible at the end? They were inquiring. They'd reached that stage in the practice that they wanted to know more. And as a teacher, it's a responsibility to the student to grow them beyond becoming a student to then become a teacher. So that's what I did, and we had 21 of my students became teachers, which was extraordinary. We ran the most wonderful teacher training program, and they are all teachers, and 14 of them now teach at Blessed, and that is how the dream became a reality, and how we now can offer yoga to everybody. 28 classes, live classes a week, which was what I've always wanted to do. I never want anyone to have a reason for not practicing. So if you wake up in the morning and you want to practice, you're an early bird, you can practice. If you have a really full-on day and you're like, I just want to relax and do a slow yoga practice at 7:30 or 8:15 at night, then you can. So what I realized, it was a bit of a gamble. I was like, I've just got to go for it. I've just got to offer everything, and maybe nobody turns up. And do you know what? At the beginning, very few people did. You know, I had like 3 or 4 people coming to these classes because they were newer teachers, and perhaps people didn't know them, and they didn't have a following because they were newer. But I just believe that if we kept on going, they would get better as teachers. The community would get to know how brilliant they are. They're all incredibly intelligent, wonderful people. And I thought, if we just keep on going, then who knows what will happen. And then obviously, then COVID happened. So then,
absolutely.
Then
and you know what is interesting? I don't know if you can see some of the comments coming out here. Lots of emojis, lots of waving. Thank you so much. Please keep them coming. But I think also lots of comments about a strong sense of community. Everyone can probably hear my dog in the background. Here
at least it's not Jester.
There is a real working from home house going on. And so Niki, since that sort of first inspiration to teaching, to then giving the opportunity to these other teachers and expanding the community, which is so exciting, what do you think has been the hardest thing about setting up the business?
I guess it's having the belief, never giving up, and believing that right in the beginning, my classes, it was the same. All that happened is Niki Perry Yoga went to Blessed Yoga, and I still taught on a Monday morning, a Wednesday morning, and a Friday morning, and a Sunday, and it was exactly the same. But then I had all these other classes that needed filling, and when they were quieter at the beginning, I was like, because you're still employing people and you're still paying out, and it's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And so many people were saying, why aren't you just doing it yourself? But that was everything that I didn't ever want it to be. I wanted it to be for everyone, and one person cannot do it all. And as we always say, we're always so much stronger together. So I was like, this will work. I just believed that it would, because I knew that the quality of our product was so good that once people heard about it and they experienced it, they never left. And that started happening. And then that was the momentum. So then the more people that came, the more people experienced it, enjoyed it. And the moment you've done a practice at Blessed, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm done, I'm hooked. And we've never lost anyone. So we have this incredible retention. So it was all about spreading the word. And then COVID, to be honest, as awful as it was when it first happened, and in March, I literally for 2 weeks sort of went, what am I going to do? I was only 6 months old as a business, and you invest so much in a website and an app and everything in a studio. And I was like, I cannot believe this is happening. And then I was just thinking, what is it? And then I realized about Zoom, which I actually always thought was an ice cream, and thought, we've got to get on board with Zoom. And then, of course, my gorgeous teachers, I was like, how we trained you to be a teacher in the studio, and I was teaching you how to assist and to help people into positions. Now I'm going to teach you how to teach on Zoom. It was like a completely different thing. And hats off to them. They are the real gems in this, because they said, okay, we'll do it. We'll come with you. We'll join you on this journey. And, at that point, it's hard to remember, but it was only 6 months ago. Everyone was like, oh my God, my family's all at home. I've got everyone on top of me. I'm filling my fridge every left, right and center. And now you're asking me on top of this to teach a yoga class on Zoom in my noisy house. I'm like, yes, that's what you're going to do for me. And they all did. They all did. And they, like all of us, learned how to do it, and everyone has got better and better at it. And that's been the most exciting thing. And because they are who they are, just such special people, they're able to connect with their students online just as they did back in the studio. And they have that amazing warmth. They have that beautiful energy, because they're not doing it as a job. You know, honestly, I'm not a yoga teacher because I want to do it and make loads of money. It's just not, that isn't why you become one. You do it because it's a vocational activity and it's something you just love. And I fell in love with it. It's made such a difference to me in my life, and that is what we want to do. And all the teachers think exactly the same thing. And that comes through their teaching, and that comes through when they're teaching any individual. And hopefully the individual is feeling that at home, on their mat, in their living room, or wherever they're practicing, that the person that is teaching them cares, and they want them to improve their practice, and they want them to feel amazing at the end. And they're just on a journey. They're on a journey for the hour or the 75 minutes from the moment they begin taking that wonderful Ujjayi breath to calm their nervous system. They're then basically carrying them through on this lovely arc of energy from the beginning to the end. So when they end their practice, they feel refreshed, they feel rejuvenated and ready to start their day again. And that is all it is. And we just do it 28 times.
Well, I have to say, your passion is infectious, really infectious. And I think it's really interesting listening to you, because it's some of the messages that you're coming out with are so similar to some of the other stories that we've heard from other entrepreneurs that we've talked to, you know. And it's that importance of how did you pivot? And it's very interesting hearing, you know, that actually you can't stand still, but you've carried your community with you. And I think that is, you know, really to be commended. And here we are, lovely comment from Stephanie. It's made a difference in my life, really got us through all the lockdowns. And fingers crossed, Stephanie, lockdown 3 is the last lockdown. You know, the trilogy is the last one we have to go through. But you know, so huge thanks to you, Niki, for what you're doing for, you know, those who were with you before, your teachers, but also now how you've been able to expand the community. And I guess it's, you know, what would you say has been the most rewarding part since launching the business?
All these amazing messages. You know, literally, it's every day. Helen, who is our community manager, she just gets emails every single day, letters. Christmas time was amazing. I had so many it makes you cry. It makes you cry. But I get it. I mean, it's like that for me. When I have a really deep practice and I switch off from all the stuff that's going on outside, and you're able to focus on you for that time, you have a shift. You shift every time you practice. You just feel connected and centered. It makes you feel amazing. And that is what is happening to every single person in our community that comes to their yoga mat and has this little rectangle of joy for that time. It's so powerful. And so the benefit and the joy and the buzz that I get, and the most rewarding thing, is hearing what our students and our clients say and how much they enjoy it. And that's enough. That carries you through. You're just like, yes, everything that we ever wanted to happen is happening. And it's amazing now. It's like we are, you know, like I just had a lovely chat with lovely Holly in Norway this morning. I've just been teaching her, and it's just incredible that you can connect. And I've got friends in Bali that are zooming in, and Australia. It's fabulous. It's now we are completely a global business. Our dream was always to reach as many people as we possibly could in the UK, making yoga accessible to all. And now I'm like, crikey, we're reaching people all over the world, making yoga accessible to all, which I never thought would be possible. So there's a wonderful silver lining to COVID for Blessed Yoga, for sure.
Absolutely. And you can reach everyone and anyone wherever they are, which is amazing. Do you know, I don't think we've ever had so many people join our Instagram live. So thank you. You've clearly got such a big fan club, and thank you so much for everyone. Please do pop any questions you have. And your journey has been so inspirational, and I think so quick in terms of what you've achieved, you know, done it so quickly. But what would you, if there was someone here who was thinking about starting up their own business, not just yoga, but it could be yoga, what would be some of the things you'd share with them in terms of what would be some of your advice that you'd like to share with them to help them get started?
Surround yourself with people you trust, with people that you really love, people that have got your back and believe in what you're doing, because you're going to need them. I've got an amazing team around me who are so supportive, and they will never let me if I do go, oh, they're like, remember, and you just go back to that why, and to have that real clear sense of why at the beginning. Why are you doing this business? What is it that excites you so much that it gives you this enormous amount of inner energy? So even when you should really be depleted and exhausted, you're not, because you're properly living in what we say your dharma. So you have this, your life force, which is your prana, is absolutely firing on all cylinders. And that is what's giving you the energy to never give up. So your belief, your purpose, the reason for being, whatever it is you're doing, will just grow stronger and stronger, because you are very clear at the outset what exactly it is you're trying to do. So whenever stuff comes along, like, for example, COVID, it didn't make any difference to us what was going on externally, because we knew what we were trying to do. How we get there kept changing, and the mechanisms that we had to do, and the more IT that we had to invest in, and the lights and the cameras and all that jazz. But it didn't alter anything to do with our reason and our purpose as to what we were doing. So surround yourself with amazing people. That's your team. Even if you're not employing them, maybe they're just friends. They're going to advise you. And that's when you start up a business, my God, you know, you just need great friends to help you. So friends, family, whatever it is, who've got your back, surround yourself with them. Have a very clear objective as to what it is you want to do and why you want to do it. Do you really love it? Ask yourself deeply. Sometimes if it's too much of a passion of yours, and you cloud that very clear distinction between passion and work, sometimes that doesn't work for people. Sometimes you need to have, they use the passion to relax, but I believe that if you really love something, really love it, then if it becomes your job, that doesn't matter. In fact, I think it's brilliant, because my job is my love. So my whole life is lovely because I enjoy what it is that I'm doing, and it just happens to be my business. But it wouldn't change anything even if it wasn't my business. So really be passionate about what it is you're doing. So that's probably what I'd say, and never give up, and always adapt, like, and try if you can to see the ahead of you. Never have your head so far down in the ground doing the doing. Become a human being. Like, we're meant to be here, and it's so easy to be a human doing, and when you're doing too much, you forget what's going on out there, and you're not looking up. And so I always try and every now and again stick my head above the parapet, have a good look around, and think, right, what is going to be the next thing that hits us? Trying to, doing SWOT analysis. I love a SWOT analysis. It just helps you to keep internal areas on your business. You can really focus on that. And then externally, do a SWOT analysis for external factors and look at both of them. And then ask your close confidants within your team to do it as well. And it's always interesting what they pick up on, which you perhaps haven't noticed. So that's always good to do. So I just think use the people around you, the knowledge. People want to help you as well. That's what I've really come to realize over the years of working, how you all think, oh gosh, I can do it myself, I'm fine, I'll just carry on. And actually, it's just wonderful working with other people. You learn from them, and they have another perspective, and they'll always be there to help you. So yeah, I'm very lucky, because my team of teachers is incredible. And they're always out there to help, which I'm blown away by. They just want Blessed to succeed, and it is because of them. I could never do this by myself. This is because we've got 14 incredible teachers. So
I think that's brilliant advice for anyone listening, whether you are in the health and wellness sector or any potential business owner. Really, really important advice. Thank you for that. Now to Blessed and what you're doing, and this is an incredibly tough time for anyone. And here we are in lockdown 3. I don't think any of us thought we'd be here, if we cast our minds back to last March. And what advice do you have for all of us who are coping and trying to cope desperately with all the stress and the pressure? And I think this is unrelenting uncertainty. How can what you're doing, bring some solace to everyone?
Yeah, yoga. Yeah. surprise. There's so much to say about yoga, but it's also incredibly simple. Your breath, so every time you practice, you don't have to move your body. Your breath is your practice, And when you breathe in a really deep, powerful way, you're breathing in your prana. And your prana is your life force. Your life force centers you to this moment right now. And if you're in the now, you cannot worry about everything that's happened in the past or what's going to happen in the future, because none of us know. It brings you back to this incredible place. And when you are deeply connected to your pranayama, it is 100% guaranteed that you will have mental focus, completely conscious and full awareness of this place right now. You can't be anywhere else. You can't get worried or upset or angry or frustrated. You can cope with absolutely anything if you're able to reach that place, that pranayama of being right now with your breath. And the practice of yoga is a practice. It takes the whole of your life, but who cares? We've got all our life. And the more you practice, the better you get at it. And I'm still learning. I'm learning so much every single day from all my teachers, and it's fabulous. And the more I breathe and the more I come to my center, the easier it is to cope with everything that's going on outside, the more joyful I feel. Because joy is never anywhere else. It's never, lying on the beach on our holiday that we have for 2 weeks of the year. It has to be every day. It has to be all the time. Because otherwise you'll bury yourself into an early death, which nobody wants, because you'll be so stressed inside. So finding that inner joy, it's a skill and it's a practice, but it's available to everybody. And you see it in the poorest countries of the world. You watch documentaries in India and they are the happiest people on earth because they're so present. They're taught that, and we're not. When they go to school, the first lesson they have is how to breathe. The first lesson they have is not learn your ABC and your times tables. They learn how to breathe and how to be present and how to really feel the air on their skin and the sun on their back and be aware of the trees and the seasons. That's the most important thing. And then if you learn that as a child, you're so connected to everything that's going on around you. You can't get frustrated with the now or upset about it or angry about it, because it's irrelevant. It's all irrelevant. What matters is you and your health and your presence and the people that you're with in that moment, and how you are by yourself, so content, doing what you love, painting, drawing, going for a walk in nature. And then everything else you just deal with. You write your list. It comes sometimes overwhelming, so I just write it down, take things off slowly. You've got loads of time, and that helps me. So my advice to anyone is do yoga.
That is such an important message. We are recording this. I hope that the connections will be that we can share this onto IGTV a bit later. And I would ask everyone that's watching, please then share this onwards to your community and your followers. That is a really, really important message you've just given, Niki. Thank you. Oh. And some of the questions that have been coming in are about where will you take your business as we return to normal, whatever normal might be. And I guess it's, what is your vision for Blessed for the next 6 months and beyond?
The next 6 months, carrying on as we are, growing and expanding, attracting more people to all of our classes. To doing another Transform Now program, which starts on the 25th of April. It's 28 days to develop a discipline of a practice, eating well, sleeping well, practicing every day. You have a coach assigned to you. So we've got another one of those happening. And then hopefully when the studio opens, bring those doors wide open, welcome everyone in. We'll go back to having retreats and workshops in the studio, which will be fabulous. And then when Blessed is really firing on all cylinders, and I think that will take us probably maybe September. I can imagine then that will be a very stable business. Then we'll be able to launch what we've always wanted to do, which is the charity, which is the British Yoga Project. And that is the sort of the backbone of the reason, of the why, which is making yoga accessible to all for positive change and making yoga free for everyone. So every single day, my dream is on the Blessed timetable, we have a free yoga class every day for anyone, anywhere in the world to attend. So you can just come for free every day. And that's the British Yoga Project. So that's what we'll, hopefully this time next year, we'll be teaching many, many people anywhere for free. So yeah, that's hopefully what's going to happen.
Gosh, what an aspiration. And I guess just conclude with what you're doing for corporates, because I think that's incredibly important as well.
Oh yeah, well we love teaching corporates because I know, having worked at LVMH and lots of other organisations, Bartle Bogle Hegarty and huge organisations, how stressful working in office environments, but obviously now that's different, it's at home. And I actually think that must be even more stressful, where you really feel you're compelled to have to be on the screen, and you'll go, I know I speak to friends and they're back-to-back meetings all day every day on their computer screen with no change and no break. Hugely stressful time for lots of people. And what we're able to do with Blessed Yoga is we can go into your organization via Zoom and teach the staff and the company and the directors all together. So not only is it a wonderful networking and a connection, but it's helping your staff to feel great. So it moves the body, it releases tension, and gets everyone off from their desk, whether it's just a half an hour lunchtime flow or we do a morning flow, or whatever it is that the organizations want, we can accommodate. So we're really enjoying that. That's been a fabulous thing for us. We used to do it physically, go to local businesses around Chichester, and now it's lovely. I teach fabulous law firms up in London, you know, who obviously all their staff are all over the place. So it's great that we're able to do that. An insurance company, Tennyson. So yeah, we've got lots of lovely corporate contacts, and it's really benefiting those that do it. So if you're interested in some corporate yoga, please get in touch, because it's something that we really love to do.
Well, we'll certainly be sharing this onto LinkedIn as well. And so for me, you know, a summary of some of the messages that have come across, and you know, and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day, because I know you've already been teaching this morning. It's good,
it gets me out of RE. I think that was nice.
Yeah. Anything that gets me out of anything is a positive for me. So, you know, I've just jotted down: support is crucial to growth. The bravest person is the one who admits when they need the help. Absolutely. And we all are so much stronger and can do much more when we come together. You clearly have a very strong team, and you know, a fantastic support community around you, and that's obvious from everything that we see and hear. And I think your passion is just so infectious, as I've already said. And you know, if you're passionate about it and you're good at it, just do it. And then I think the crucial one, particularly where we find ourselves today, is whatever makes you relax and feel better. It's not selfish, it's not indulgent, it's just crucial to your mental and your physical health. And so Niki Perry, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure. Please come back and talk to us again.
Yeah, thank you so much. So honestly, it's lovely to have a change and actually to have this opportunity to, you know, it's not often actually you sit back and you reflect on what's happened. As I was saying, you're so busy doing it. So it's really, thank you very much for the opportunity. I've really enjoyed it, and it's lovely to see you.
Thank you. And thank you also for everyone who's joined us. And please do watch it back on later. Any problems with connection, our apologies in advance. And we wish everyone well. Thanks very much, Niki.
Thank you. Namaste.
Okay.
Thank you. All the best. Bye.
Bye.